There is no one more calculative, more intentional about you than God your Father. I have come to the point in my life where, you know what, nothing shakes me. I have this unbending, I have this radical peace about God always having my back. You know why? Because He's always had my back. I remember pre-pandemic, I was working in NYU. I actually started working in NYU in 2016 after staying in that particular job before NYU for, I think I was in it for 3 years, and I got to the point where I was getting sick. It was time to move on, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know how I was going to move on. I didn't know what I was moving on to. So of course I got all these interviews and whatever, and then the NYU interview was the one that I did not want to actually go on. Because the day before that interview, foolishly, I went to Minnesota for a wedding, and we had a road trip. And so that Monday for that interview, I was so tired, out of my mind. I was like, there's no way I can do an interview. And in that interview, the people that were interviewing me, two of them were in the airport. They were running to catch their flights. And so it was hurried, right? It was so hurried. The other person that was interviewing me, he was in his hotel room and I couldn't hear half of what they were saying. They couldn't hear half of what I was saying. Needless to say, that I walked away from that interview thinking this is not going to work. They're never going to call me back. Guess what? They called me back. The day they called me back to come into the office, they were showing me things. They were showing me service. It was not another interview. It was not, I met the VP, I met an executive director, I just met all these higher ups people. I'm thinking, what is going on here? I got that job. But here I was thinking, what am I going to go into? To me, that was the worst interview that I'd ever taken. Now, when it was time to move on, there was no warning. There was no, oh my God, I got to start preparing for another job. The VP just walks up to me one morning and says, Gladys, I don't have money in my budget for you. This is going to have to be your last stint with us. I was so heartbroken. I was angry. I was like, that is so stupid. Why would you just walk up to me and tell me that? But I'm telling you that God will always have a plan for you. God will not shut one door and you think that's the end of it for you. Has been my experience. That is why I write things down. That is why I journal, because I have seen God move in so many ways that my journal has become something that I go back to and I go reference. It is so amazing the things that I have seen just standing by and trusting God. And even at times where I want to jump out of my skin, like I don't know how this is going to happen, and feel like that. God just shows up because He goes ahead of us. Now, let me finish my story. When He walks up to me and He says, this is going to be your last month with us because I don't have money for you. That same day, I went back to the office. I was in a hospital in Long Island. I walked from the conference offices into the office where I was sitting at that time. I was looking through my current job. I saw a position that looks like my old one. I reached out to my boss and she says, yeah, there's nobody there. As a matter of fact, everybody that's come on that job has been leaving. Do you want to come back? Needless to say, that's how I got back into that job. But I'm telling you, as far back as I don't know, I'm in my 50s now, and I can tell you every job I've seen God's hand in. When I came into this country almost 30 years ago, every job, every move, I have seen God's hand in it. So don't tell me that God isn't faithful. He is. He is. God bless you.